So, back in 1979, Sun Myung Moon gave this sermon with a really wild idea at its heart, that you and every single one of us are the actual battlefield for a cosmic war between good and evil. Today, we're going to dive into that pretty intense worldview.
And this one line, it's the key to the whole thing. According to Moon, this isn't just some poetic idea. He's saying this is literally what it means to be human. A constant war raging right inside you.
Okay, so if we're the battlefield, who's actually fighting? Let's break down the two sides that are fighting for control over us.
Now, we're not talking about some abstract war happening way up in the heavens. Nope, the sermon makes it super clear. This is a real, tangible struggle for the heart and soul of every single person on earth, and it's happening right now.
And the way the sermon breaks this down is by looking at the end result of each side. You see, God's side starts with goodness, which naturally leads to love, and that love creates unity. On the flip side, Satan's side starts with evil, which always breeds jealousy, and the final result of that is division. They're just two totally opposite paths.
All right, so if there's a war going on, where's the front line? Is it in politics? Is it out in our communities somewhere?
And this right here is the absolute core of the whole idea. This war isn't happening out there. According to Moon, it's happening inside you, and it's happening inside me. We are the territory they are fighting over.
All right, so we know who's fighting, but what about their weapons? What are the tools they're using in this fight for our souls?
It really all comes down to two kinds of love. Satan's weapon is what he calls self-centered love. That's the voice inside you demanding, love me, the need to be the center of attention, to be put up on a pedestal. God's weapon is the exact opposite, God-centered love. That's all about focusing on loving others, and it comes from a place of humility, of being willing to serve.
Okay, let's drill down even further. If we are the battlefield, where exactly is the front line drawn inside of us? So according to the sermon, there's this major split right inside of us. The mind is God's territory. It's the part of you that's always pushing you to do the right thing. But the body, that's Satan's domain. It's always just looking for comfort, for pleasure, for the easy way out. And these two parts of you are in a constant civil war. And to help us out in this battle, the sermon says we've all got this thing called a mind guard. It's basically your conscience, that little voice that gives you an instant ping the second you even think about doing something you know is wrong.
And this quote, wow, it really shows you how high the stakes are for even the smallest things. In the sermon, Moon actually uses the example of someone dozing off while he's speaking. If your mind guard wins and you force yourself to stay awake, that's a victory for God's side. But if your body wins and you drift off, it's like Satan's orchestra starts to play.
Okay, so if you're stuck in this constant battle, how do you actually win? Well, the sermon lays out a pretty clear game plan. You got to take down 3 specific enemies. See, according to Moon, if you want to master yourself, you have to conquer 3 of the most powerful drives we have as humans. And here they are: hunger, sleep, and love, or, physical desire. These are seen as the main ways that the body, which remember is Satan's territory, tries to take control of the mind. And this is why practices like fasting or staying up all night are so important in this view. It's not about suffering just for the sake of suffering. The whole point is to actively knock down the body, to basically weaken Satan's home base so that your mind can get stronger. And get this. This is how personal this fight gets. The sermon actually tells you to literally talk to your own body parts like they're the enemy. If your leg is cramping up, you're supposed to yell at it, call it Satan, and then ask God to make it strong. It's a really hands-on, intense way to think about spiritual warfare. So, after all this fighting, all this struggle, what's the end game? What does winning this internal war even look like? The path to victory is laid out in 3 clear steps. Step 1, you deny the body by conquering those 3 enemies we talked about. But step 2 is the crucial part. It's the why. You do it out of God-centered love. You go through hardship for the sake of other people. And the result of all that, step 3, is achieving complete unity between your mind and your body, where both are perfectly in line with God. And this whole principle gets applied in some, pretty shocking ways. Take marriage, for instance. The sermon suggests that a true act of God-centered love would be to actually hope for the worst possible partner, not the best one. The thinking is that loving someone who's difficult or maybe not so attractive brings them more joy, and that's what really pleases God. And this, right here, is the ultimate promise of the sermon. The prize for winning this war isn't just a quiet mind. It's this incredibly deep spiritual awakening. The claim is that when your mind and body finally stop fighting and become one, you'll be able to literally see God and understand everything.
So when you think about it, this sermon just completely reframes everyday life. Every little thing, what you eat, when you sleep, even a passing thought becomes this huge moment in a cosmic war. It leaves us with this really big question. What would it mean if you started to see your own daily life as a constant, active spiritual frontline?